Remember this king from the movie 300? I didn't know he was in the Bible, and turns out you know where he's at in the Bible too. He's one of the most famous kings in the Bible. Let me show you where he's at. First, let me fill you in on the movie in case you haven't seen the movie 300. This is Xerxes. He's the king of Persia, the king of kings, and he's going to invade Greece. So he sends emissaries, messengers out there, and they say to King Leonidas, the king of Sparta, just give us an offering of earth and water. That's all the great king wants. Well, the king of Sparta says, there's this big hole right behind him. He says, you'll find both down there. Boom, kicks the guy into the hole. Well, that makes the king of Persia, King Xerxes, really mad. So he says, that's it, we're going to invade. He gets an army of hundreds of thousands of people to go invade Greece. And only 300 Spartans show up at the Battle of Thermopylae to stop him. That's what the movie 300's about. So the king of kings says to Leonidas, you have 300 people. What are you doing? You can't stop us. We have enough arrows alone to blot out the sun. And King Leonidas says, well, then we'll fight in the shade. And they did fight in the shade, but Greece lost, Sparta lost. They were able to hold Persia enough for some of the Greeks to go back and get ready. But anyway, this guy, Xerxes, the king of kings, he was successful in conquering Greece. Then he goes home, goes back to Persia. He's ruling and reigning happily, and this is where the Bible story starts out. He's at home one day having a party, enjoying life. He's got a beautiful wife. He wants to show off his beautiful wife to his friends. So he sends for her to come and show off. And she's like, with her friends, like, don't tell me what to do. I'm not just going to show up just because you tell me. And that makes King Xerxes very embarrassed. And his friends are like, whoa, if she doesn't listen to you, oh great king, then none of our wives are going to listen to us. You got to fix this. So he's like, I'm going to fix this. So he says, she's never coming in my presence again. She's gone. I'm going to get a new queen, even prettier. So y'all go out and find the prettiest girls, bring her here. I'm going to pick a new queen. So they go out, they get a bunch of young girls, bring them over there. They're trying out to try to be the new queen. And he picks one that he likes. And at the time, he had a right-hand man named Haman who was like, King, these Jews are messing up your kingdom. We need to take care of the Jews. And King Xerxes, he's sort of like, okay, if you think it's a good idea. But then his new wife, her name's Esther. She goes to the king and she's like, don't take out my people. What in the world? Take out that guy. And he's like, oh, he tried to trick me. Boom. He took out Haman, saved the Jews, went on. And it's a great story. You should read it in the book of Esther. But that's what blew my mind. This guy, Xerxes from the Battle of Thermopylae, is the king in the book of Esther. He just has a different name there. He's called Ahasuerus in Esther. And that's because Esther's written in Hebrew, and we know about 300 Spartans. Remember this king from the movie?
Alright. Yo, it's your boy Mr. Israelite. Check it out. That movie in particular, 300, I actually got another theory on that too. By the way, yes, Esther is a book in the Bible. If you haven't read it, go check it out, man. The book of Esther, it got a real dope story behind it too. You can go from in the field to in the palace overnight. It's God's glory, it's God's will. But what I will say about the movie 300, when I realized myself that Xerxes was the same guy that was in Esther, I was reading Esther myself and I was like, Xerxes, ain't that the dude from 300? I look it up on my phone, like it is the dude from 300. So when I ran across this, I wanted to do it because I was thinking like, yo, it's another thing. It's a story in the Bible with the 300 men. God said that they had too many men. He was sending them in the battle when they had too many men because God wanted to show his power. Sometimes God wants to show his power. So that's why when you always think like, man, why God wait till I get nothing to come through? Or why God wait till it look impossible to come through? Because you don't realize who he is. You don't realize how powerful and how big and how great he really is. So he have to show you this so you can depend on him, so you can strengthen your faith to be able to move forward. That's why you're always fighting giants or whatnot. So he told them to like, yo, tell them everybody that's that want to go home, they can go. So half of them just went home. More than half went home. Like, all right, Is this enough? He like, nah, it's still too many. Like, tell them. And he just kept asking them questions until it got all the way down to 300. He ended up sending that 300 into battle, and they got victory. He was like, I don't want to send this much because y'all gonna boast like y'all did this yourself. That's why God sometimes remove people. Before he bless you, he remove a bunch of people, remove a bunch of things from around you, because he don't want nobody else taking the glory, and he don't want you giving nobody else the glory. When you get blessed by God, you gonna surely say, I know for a fact this was God. There's no other way I should have made it out that. There's no other way I should have came across this money. There's no other way I should have been exalted to CEO status, or exalted to a position that I don't got no degree for, or there's no way that car just barely missed me, or there's no way. Yeah, because it was God. Yeah, Elohim. Yeah, it was him. Yeah, give God the glory. But a lot of people still find a way to take the glory for themselves. But anyway, that's on another note. Back to Esther. I'm thinking that when I found out that this was Xerxes, in my mind, I immediately was like, wait, 300? It's a story about 300 men in the Bible. Did they take that from them being great warriors in this? Nah, 300 ended up all losing. All of them lost. They were all unalive. Yeah, they all lost. That is not the story from the Bible, because, you know, them weren't the same too. But I wonder, did they pull from that? Not the movie 300, but the actual folktale 300, you know, that they told about. But because one thing I learned, that all these stories and stuff that be out here, most of it be coming from the Bible. Once you read the Bible, you be like, wait, what? You start hearing all these names, and that's how I started realizing how intentional some of these names were, and with movie titles and the people and the themes and people names in movies and what they actually do. Man, you'll be shocked how much stuff come right up out the Bible. But yeah, go back and look into the story of Esther. It's a great story if y'all haven't heard about it before. And it's a redemption story. It shows how good he is. And you know what's crazy? God isn't even really in that book. Like, his name isn't really mentioned. Well, it's mentioned once. But they never really have dialogue with God, this and that and the third, in that book at all. But his presence is there, his essence is there. You know, this is of God, and it's dealing with the Israelite, and it's just crazy how it just weave up together. But yeah, go check that out. It's your boy Mr. Israelite, and it's real life.